Hello and welcome to this week's Granny's Garden. Now last week I gave you a little tiny sneak peek of the leaves of what I bought. It was my second specimen tree for this hidden patio. And today I'm going to give you the grand reveal. It is a Cornus Controversa Variegata, otherwise known as the wedding cake tree. Isn't it just gorgeous? I have been doing the rounds of all the garden centres in the community of Madrid for months without being able to get my hand on one of these beauties. I've also been trying online, but unfortunately online all I could find up to now were teensy little ones about 12 inches tall. This is a slow-growing deciduous tree, and I'm getting on in years, so let's face it, I want at least a teenager like this one. I can't afford to have 2 twigs stuck in a pot. I'd be pushing up daisies before it got to this stage. Finally, I found this one. It's in a 35-litre pot, which is about a 10-gallon pot. Now, it's going to be in the hidden patio, and it's going to take the place of the old alder tree that used to be here. Now, where this mound is where the old alder tree used to be. And we're bringing it slightly forward, and we actually made the hole, which I'll show you now in a minute, to give this baby a chance to spread. Now, this tree has a lovely spreading habit, and you can already see it here. The difference in tiers, the difference in layers. It's like got one layer here, and then higher up another layer, and then lower down another layer. And this is why it's commonly known as the wedding cake tree, because the old-fashioned wedding cake in different tiers or different layers. The leaves, as you can see, are a nice bright green colour, and around there is like a creamy white margin. In autumn, they change colour, so you're going to have that wonderful autumn colour. Some places tell you it's yellow-orange, other people tell you it's orange-purple, other people tell you it's red-purple. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to wait until autumn and let Our Lady here decide what colour frock she wants to put on for us. In the month of May, this tree is covered in a mass of frothy white flowers. Now, as you can see here, this has just finished flowering, but if you look closely, you can see it's already forming little berries, and these berries will be blue-black in colour. So I'm getting the variegated leaves, the frothy flowers, the beautiful fruit, and the wonderful autumn foliage. And when in autumn all those leaves start to fall, I'm left with this beautiful structure in winter. So I'm beyond excited. I'm just one step nearer to creating this 4 seasons garden. Now this is a 35-litre pot, or a 10-gallon pot, and you can manage it, but it's still heavy. And it's not so much getting it into the hole. The problem is it's getting out of the hole if you make a mistake, because it's one thing to slide it in and another very different thing to try and pull it out. So we've got to try and avoid having to get it out of the hole once it's in it. Now the first thing I do is walk all around the tree and decide what I want visually my front to be. Once I've actually decided that, then I get some sort of, in my case I bought a ribbon, I'm going to tie it round, and where the little tails fall is where I want to see it visually. This is the front I want to see. As you can see, it's now tied, and this, where these tail ends are, is where I want the plant to be. And then on the floor, on the ground, I'm going to make a little mark to say where the angle wants to be. Because I want to angle it slightly this way so you can see it from this path and from this path. The next thing I'm going to be having a look at is the depth of the pot. Now I'm not going to measure the pot because obviously the soil doesn't come up here. The soil level is slightly lower. So I'd be down just about here. So where this little notch is, if you can see it, where this little notch is where the soil level is inside the pot. So now I have to go to the hole. Now sometimes just sticking a cane into the ground is, you lose all perspective of where the actual soil level is. So what I do is get whatever I have at hand, in this case it's a dustpan, I place it across the hole, and automatically I know what the surrounding soil level is. So now I can put it again in here until it touches gently the ground. Don't stick it in because there's a cane. Put it gently on the ground and take a new measurement, which is the present soil level, and then pull it up. And now, the distance between the notch on the cane and here, I see is about 6 inches. So, what I need to do is fill up now the bottom of this hole, and I'm going to be filling it up with 50% compost, 50% native soil, and of course planter fertiliser. So I'm going to get a nice mix going on in there, then I'm going to water it, let it settle down, again take the measurement, and then get it up to the correct level before I put the pot in, and that way there's going to be no moving around. just about an inch. Now I just need to ease her into the hole, so I'm actually going to get Miguel out to help me with this. And what I've done to get the angle right, instead of putting a mark on the ground, is I've actually put the camera here. So you can see there's a little tail ends of the ribbon. And so we're just going to aim the tail ends of that ribbon towards the camera. Got it? Well, I can now take the ribbon off. Now, the Cornus Controversa takes either full sun or partial shade, and it has a spread of about 10 feet, which is why I've just separated it slightly from the fence, so that even at its full spread, it's not going to enter into contact with that fence, because I don't want to have to touch this structural wise. You always prune out the dead, diseased and damaged and anything that's crossing. But apart from that, I want to leave it to its own devices. Leave it to be a natural tree in all its asymmetrical beauty. Now, the whole reason I chose this tree, as indeed the Japanese maple, is because of the structure of the branches. As you know, this hidden patio, which is now not so hidden, is very large, and I wanted to be able to soften the landscape. So having something that splays out here in the corner, and as in the Japanese maple, splays out here as well, really softens it. And I just can't resist showing it. It's only been a week in its pot, and look at the amount of growth it's putting on already. Oh, absolutely lovely. Now, I am going to be updating you on the development of both the Japanese maple and the wedding cake tree throughout each of the different seasons, to see how they change and how they colour up and the fruit they provide and the flowers next spring. So it's going to be an exciting time. Absolutely so looking forward to it. So from me, certainly it's bye-bye and I'll see you next week. But I'm going to leave you with a quick update on the state of the plants within the paving stones. As you know, if you've been watching me, I am carrying out an experiment to see what type of plants I can plant within my paving stones that stand my cold winters and my very hot summers. The temperatures have gone up in the last week and the plants are responding, and even now they're beginning to join together. How amazing is that? In just 1 week of warm weather. We'll see how it progresses when it gets too hot. That's another story, but we'll get back to that later. For the moment, see you next week. Bye-bye. The masses is the one that's going crazy. Look at all these little tendrils. They're pouring out onto the rocks. They've joined together among the cracks. They're sending more little tendrils out this way. So it's looking promising. I hope it can withstand the hot summer. And I think I'm liking the look. Excuse the mess, because I have actually, we've been planting, as you know. But I'm liking the look as well of keeping the campanula towards this outside border next to the grass. I'm liking that a lot. I have a massive plant of campanula myself in what is going to become the rose border. So probably in autumn, I'm going to take this massive campanula plant, which was tiny when I got it, and divide it up into several more plants, and then plant it out on each little crevice that makes contact with the lawn. I think that could look absolutely lovely. See ya.